Good morning. It is Wednesday, January 5th. We're working on lesson 9.2 in our Go Math. And if you look at the essential question says, how do you use known lengths to estimate unknown lengths? In other words, how can we use the length of something to help us kind of figure out what the length of the other thing is? Now, for this math lesson, we are not going to use our ruler. We are going to use what they have given us to try to figure out how long something is. So let's take a look. If we look up at the top at the example in Model and Draw, we can see that they tell us that this pencil is 10 centimeters long, about 10 centimeters long. So knowing that the pencil is about 10 centimeters long, we are supposed to try to decide, well, how long then is this ribbon? And they give us three answer choices. Let me see if I can get this paper so that you can see a little bit better. There we go. So we have to decide, do we think that this ribbon is 7 centimeters long, 13 centimeters long, or 20 centimeters long? Well, first thing that I always want my kiddos to do is I want you to label. I want you to put the number 10. I'm going to go ahead and do this for you. I want you to put the number 10 there. So that reminds you that the pencil is 10 centimeters long. Now we have to figure out this ribbon. Does it make sense that the ribbon would be 7 centimeters long? No, it doesn't make sense because the ribbon is longer than the pencil and 7 is a smaller number. Would it make sense that the ribbon is 13 centimeters long? You know, it might, because 13 is just a little bit bigger than 10, and this ribbon is a little bit bigger than the pencil. But let's take a look at the next number, 20. Would it make sense that the ribbon is 20 centimeters long? That would be 2 pencils long. Does that make sense? No. The only one that makes sense then is 13. So then we would circle 13 centimeters. Now let's look at number 1 on share and show. It tells us that the yarn is about 5 centimeters long. So when you do this, I'm going to go ahead and label it for you, but know that when you do the others independently, that's what you will do. So we know that this yarn is 5 centimeters long, and we want to use this yarn to help us figure out, well, how long is this crayon? And they give us 3 choices. So let's look at those choices. 10 centimeters, 15 centimeters, 20 centimeters. Well, when I compare the piece of this yarn to this crayon, it looks like I could almost have 2 pieces of yarn there to be the length of that crayon. And I know that if this is 5 and I have another piece of yarn that's 5, 5 plus 5 is 10. So my answer might be 10, but I want to look at the other answers just to make sure. This one is 15. I don't think that that crayon is 15 centimeters long because that would be 3 pieces of yarn, 5 plus 5 plus 5. That would be way too big. And if 15 is too big, then 20 is too big. So now I know that my answer is 10 centimeters long. Let's now look at number 2 in share and show. The string is about 12 centimeters long, so I'm going to label that 12. And now we have to come up with the best estimate for the straw. If the string is about 12, then about how long is our straw? Well, let's look at the answer choices. Well, first of all, I need to know that the string is longer than the straw. I need to remember that. Let's look at our possibilities. 3 centimeters. Now that seems kind of small. I know that if this string is 12, 3 centimeters would only be a little bit of that. That would be pretty short. And this straw is about halfway up that string. So I don't think 3 is a good answer. So I'm going to look at the next possibility. 7. Ooh, now that one might work because think about it. If this straw is about halfway, half the size of this string, and I know that 7 is a little more than half of 12. So I'm going to keep 7 close by. That one just might be my answer. Let's look at the last possibility, 11. Oh, I know that's not right because 11 is just a little smaller than 12, and this straw is a little bit too short for that. So my best answer then is 7. So then I would circle 7 centimeters. Now let's look over here. Let's look at number 2. Number 3. Number 3 says, the rope is about 8 centimeters long. Circle the best estimate for the length of the paper clip. So again, when you do your independent ones, you will need to label those like I am for you. But now we need to know about this paper clip. Well, I see the paper clip one is shorter, so I need to know that. And it looks like, you know what? It looks like I could almost make 2 paper clips there. Like maybe it's half the size. Let's see what our choices are. I see 2, 4, and 8. Well, immediately I know that it cannot be 8 centimeters because is the paper clip the same size as this rope? No, it's shorter. So 8 is not a possibility. I look at 2 centimeters and 2 is kind of short, or 4. You know, remember when I said I thought that paper clip was half the size, like maybe I could put 2 paper clips together and it equal the rope? Well, half of 8 is 4, the double. 4 plus 4 is 8, and that is the best choice. So I would circle 4 centimeters. Let's look at number 4. Number 4 says the pencil is about 11 centimeters. Okay, so I'm going to label that 11. And like I said, after these pages, you'll be doing independent work and you'll have to label them on your own. So about how long is the chain? Well, if the pencil is 11, the chain's a little bit longer. Does the answer 6 even make sense? No, because the chain is longer than the pencil and 6 is smaller than 11. Does 10 make sense? Again, no, because 10 is smaller than 11 and the chain is still longer. Does 13 make sense? It absolutely does, because 13 is a little bit bigger. So then I would circle 13. Let's look at number 5. The hair clip is about 7 centimeters long. So we're going to label that 7. If the hair clip is 7 centimeters long, about how long is the yarn? Well, I see that the hair clip is 7 and it's a little bit shorter than the yarn. So let's look at our choices. Would the best estimate be 10, 17, or 22? Well, now immediately I'm thinking that is silly. 22, that number is way too big. And this yarn is only a little bit bigger than that hair clip. That doesn't make sense. Then I look at 17. And 17 is bigger than 7, but that's still quite a bit bigger than 7. The only number that makes sense is 10. And in a centimeter, yep, it's smaller, remember, than an inch. That would be our best answer. Let's do one more together. Let's look at number 6. The ribbon is about 13 centimeters. Okay, I'm going to label that 13. So we have to figure out the best estimate for this piece of string. Well, here's 13. Our string's a little bit shorter. Does 5 make sense? Would it make sense if the string is only 5? No, because 13 is a lot bigger than 5, and this string is almost to the end of the ribbon, so doesn't make sense. What about 11? Does 11 make sense? Well, 11 is a little bit shorter than, or smaller than 13, and this yarn is a little bit shorter than that ribbon. So 11 certainly does make sense, but let's look at the last answer just in case. 17. Well, we know that's silly. That doesn't make sense because 17 is bigger than 13 and the yarn is smaller. So the only answer there that makes sense is 11. Now, to complete your math today, you have some other questions to do, and you can work on question 7. I'm going to cross out that one because that's one we haven't studied yet. Question 9, and then you have some practice pages that you can work on to practice this on your own. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. You can call the school. You can email me. or have mom or dad send me a remind message and I will help you. Good luck with math today.